When Dani Olmo comes back, when Dani Olmo starts to play for Barcelona, then Raphinha moves to the left, where he has already played. But against, for example, against Valladolid in this weekend, he wasn't just the player on the left flank. He also tried to go into the area. He play in the center. He connected with Dani Olmo. So I think that Hansi Flick likes a more direct style, and this helps a lot Raphinha, because Raphinha in the Premier League was used to playing so fast, so direct, connecting always so fast to the attack. And Barcelona with Xavi was a completely different team, and I think that Xavi never really trusted Raphinha. And now I think that the connection between Raphinha and Hansi Flick is really true, is a truly connection when both people believe in each other. So I think that Raphinha now is playing much better because also the coach believes in him.
I couldn't agree more. The confidence is evident, right? You can see the difference between him with Hansi Flick and how fluid he is. And I love that you brought up the position. I almost feel like he's had bad luck. When he finally got that right winger position because Dembele left to PSG, he gets injured. And it was a lot of injury last season. Twice he was injured, muscular injuries. And when he was injured, guess who came about? Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal came about. The future came about. So Raphinha was cast aside, and that confidence went with them. Now he plays underneath as a second striker. He could play as an attacking midfielder. He plays on the right, plays on the left, but it's so much more fluid. You could see Yamal in that assist he gives him, where he brings it off his chest. How ridiculous that is. He comes from the left-hand side to the heart of the final third from a center position, or from, left-hand side to a center position. You can see how good he is. You can see how confident he is right now and how fluid his movement is. He's been the best player in La Liga in these 4 games. 3 goals, 3 assists. He constantly looks dangerous. He looks like a completely different player. And I agree. He looks like the player we saw at Leeds. He looks like the player they promised he would be at Barcelona. Is it too late? I don't think so. I think you see the el público, I think you see the fan base responding. He seems to be doing well. But it is only 4 games. But if you're asking what's changed, that's been the biggest difference.
His confidence as well coming through in the press. I don't know if you saw the quotes post-game saying, we don't need any more players, certainly not in his position. You'll have a little bit of defiance, a little bit of back me after the hat-trick and to assist there against Valladolid. Let's move to the other side of the big rivalry in La Liga. Real Madrid, who of course had their own big game on the weekend. Not quite as astonishing a scoreline, but significant nonetheless. 2-0 victors at home on Sunday over Real Betis. The big story, of course, is Kylian Mbappé getting his first goals in league play. He had a brace in the second half. The first one off that beautiful assist from the Uruguayan Fede Valverde. Jude Bellingham there in the stands applauding along. Mbappé would also score from the penalty spot about 8 minutes later off a foul drawn by none other than Vinicius Jr. Gustavo, we've been waiting on this for a while. You've been in Madrid, so I'm sure you've been feeling the tension there. What do you think it was that finally clicked here for the Real Madrid front 3?
They need time. The connection between Vini and Mbappé, I think that will probably happen, but they need time. For me, it's so clear in the stadium, watching the Real Madrid match in La Liga this season, and I've been in every Madrid match this season, that Vinicius and Mbappé are trying to connect. I don't see Vinicius trying to play alone or even Mbappé trying to play alone. They're trying to connect, but they are struggling because they need connection and they don't know already their movements. They have to know exactly how to pass the ball, how to move, how the player likes to receive the ball, and they are trying. So I think that they need time, but the time here in Madrid is never enough. Everything for Real Madrid is for yesterday, always. So they were struggling. They are struggling some matches. I think that Real Madrid against Betis was the best version till now in this La Liga season. It was not so beautiful, not that, but I think that they are going. They're trying to do that. They're getting better in each game, and we have to remember. Jude Bellingham is out. Madrid miss him a lot. Jude Bellingham delivers a lot in the defense. He's a very strong player. Madrid is also struggling to find the replacement for Toni Kroos, We talk a lot about the 4 players in the offense, but the main problem for me is the exit of Toni Kroos. Aurélien Tchouaméni is a completely different player. I think that when Eduardo Camavinga comes back, it will be a better fit alongside Federico Valverde. Valverde is also not Toni Kroos. He won't be this guy. I think that Madrid now needs Valverde a lot. You can move. It's easier to move Mbappé, Rodrigo, or Vini to the bench than Valverde. You just don't touch at Valverde at Madrid's lineup nowadays.
Yeah, one of the things, Gustavo, here that I think has caused them some problems is teams have almost figured out how to play against this version of Real Madrid. Las Palmas, Valladolid, Betis, if you make these players who are so dangerous in open space have to all of a sudden try to combine in small spaces, have to find that orchestrator in the attack, which they don't have right now because there's no Kroos, which they don't have because there's no Jude Bellingham, which they don't have because, it's not a situation where Luka Modric is on the field. Camavinga's still injured. You know that you eliminate a massive threat of what is Real Madrid, the pace in behind. So if you can eliminate that, you have to force these players to beat you in 1v1 situations. But if they're in front of you, they're predictable. While they may look to combine, while they may look to play off each other, it is extremely difficult because that's not who they are. They're used to being on the receiving end of these things in the final third, not being the orchestrators of these things in the final third. So I also think it's a bit of these teams that they've played. Las Palmas, Valladolid, maybe not so much Betis, but you'd expect these teams to sit back, to allow them to have the lion's share of the ball. Where we saw Real Madrid last season, it didn't matter who was on the field, teams would try to play with them, and these guys would just murder you in open space. They don't have that this season. You were at the stadium. That goal goes in, beautiful pass by Valverde, Kylian Mbappé scores. It wasn't Jubilee, Gustavo. It was almost like, whew, finally, it went in. Now we can breathe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It was really for Madrid. Madrid was the best team on the field. Madrid was best from the first minute to the end, but they're struggling. They're trying it's not easy to score a goal this season like it was last season. And we also have to talk about Rodrigo because Rodrigo in this match against Betis, I saw him much more positioned on the right. Rodrigo is always a sacrificed player in this offense, always it is Rodrigo, because Rodrigo prefers also to play on the left. But against Betis, I think that Madrid needs much more balance, and Rodrigo on the right, I think that Ancelotti talked to him and asked for him to stay a little bit more on the right side.
If I remember, against Las Palmas, Rodrigo didn't get the start in that game, but when they needed to make the change at the half, he was very quickly off the bench. So you get an idea of the esteem in which he's held by Carlo Ancelotti.